What's up, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Silent Chaos Podcast, episode number 2. I hope you guys are having a great Mother's Day. It is the end of Mother's Day, Sunday night, and I decided to make a video a little bit about parenting this time. As for everyone who actually knows me in real life knows that I have an autistic son, and that I talked about a little bit in the first video, but I kind of wanted to talk about him a little bit more in this one. I wanted to kind of dive right into what it is like to raise an autistic child. Honestly, it's not that different, I feel like, from raising a normal child. Maybe it's because I only have one kid and I don't know the difference. I don't know. But like I said in my previous video, my son isn't on the high end of the autistic spectrum, as they say. He's at the lower end, so he's pretty functional. Like I said, if you would meet him, you would have no idea he had autism until you really got to know him, and then you would see certain social interactions he does where it's just like, okay, I can see it a little bit there. But raising an autistic kid, like I said, it's I guess it could be challenging at times, and challenging in a way of you got to kind of adapt to certain things, certain situations. As a dad, I try to do my best, and I'm not claiming in no way I am a great parent. I am just trying to be what my biological father wasn't to me, and that's at least to be around. And I remember when my son was born, I always promised him, and I promised myself, that he would never know what it's like to not to have a father in his life. And like I said, the people who know me know this story. They know my story with that. And so it was very important for me to raise my son. And although things didn't work out between me and his mom, it doesn't mean that it gives me a way out. I don't believe that. I don't. Even if he wasn't autistic, it wouldn't have mattered. He was my son. He is my flesh and blood. And yeah, like I said, I grew up without a father myself, so I know how tough that could be on a single mom. And that's why I go up and beyond and do everything I can do to make sure that not just when he's with me, but when he's with his mom, he has the best life he can possibly have. Because I do respect single moms more than anybody else. Seeing the struggles that my own mother went through with being a single mom, and a lot of the issues that I had growing up, and some may say still have now to this day, because I didn't have a dad in my life. I didn't want that for my son, and I wanted to make sure that he knew what it was like to have a dad and to have a male figure in his life. Over the years, I have tried to become a more positive male figure in his life. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a perfect person. I have my dirt, and I've done some really crappy things in the past that I'm not proud of, but I think we all have from time to time. But definitely now, at this point in my life, where my son, he's turning 11 in a week, can really see for himself what type of man I am, and I want him to feel like his dad was a good man. And I hope I do right by him. I really do. I think at the end of the day, it's when I'm no longer here, I hope that he can look back at the time that I was with him and say that I was a good man, and I showed him that I loved him. Like I said, I'm not perfect, and I know I slip up. We're humans. There's times where it's just like you need a break, but with him having autism, I have learned to adapt to certain situations. I know certain situations are going to set him off, where it probably won't be the best situation for him to be in. So we try to avoid those situations at all costs, just because when he gets into the state of mind of a meltdown, it's nearly impossible to talk him out of it. Although I have gotten better at reasoning with him during his meltdowns, but still, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And I've seen a lot of other autism videos and a lot of other parents with autism, with autistic kids, and sometimes I feel a little guilty because I see where their kids are, and I see how much they struggle with them, especially the nonverbal autistic kids. It makes me feel bad that I'm grateful that my son is where he's at, because he isn't. I mean, he's fully talkative. I mean, getting the kid to be quiet once in a while is actually a hard thing to do. But he does good in school. The kids pick on him a little bit, but it's not that bad. As far as I know, I've talked to his mom about it, and as far as she knows, there's a couple kids who pick on him. But again, it's kind of hard to tell with him that he's autistic. So, it's luckily he he has a heart. With autism, he doesn't take sarcasm. He doesn't understand sarcasm sometimes, which I guess is kind of a blessing in disguise, because I think hopefully sometimes if a kid is being mean to him, he doesn't understand they're being mean to him. So he kind of just brushes it off like, okay, the kid's being weird, whatever. I hope that's what it's like. I've talked to him about it before in the past, and it's just something that I think regular kids, although I feel my son is regular, but non-autistic kids have to deal with bullying and all that stuff, which is unfortunate. But for me in high school and middle school and elementary school, bullying has been around forever. I unfortunately have to admit that I was a bully in school. It was more because I had a lot of anger issues, and it was a defense mechanism. Now, I didn't bully kids to the extent of like beating them up or anything, but I would be, my whole thought on it was, I'm gonna get them before they get me, because I always felt like the outcast. Always felt like I wasn't gonna be accepted, or I wasn't cool enough, or I wasn't thin enough, or I wasn't good looking enough, whatever the case may have been in high school. I just felt like I wasn't ever good enough, but that was seated in not having a father around and feeling like, well, I'm not good enough for a dad, and I see these kids being dropped off by their dads, and I'm not good enough for a dad, so I'm not good enough for anything else. That I believe had a traumatic effect on me, especially in school. In high school, I tapered off of the bullying big time. I moved to the East Coast, and like sometimes I get onto my personal stuff like that. But in high school it was a little bit different. I ended up becoming a kind of a dork, joined band, but I was always taller than most people and bigger than most people. So like in high school, they didn't really pick on me too much. My focus came more on other things, but back to my son. Yeah, he's turning 11, and man, this kid is the greatest. I love him to death. And I said in my previous video, when I was just kind of touch bases on a couple of things I want to talk about, mine and his mother's goal for him is to be able to live a full life without us one day. And we want to see him succeed in school. And he does really good in school. He's a smart kid. He's a very intelligent kid, which I kind of got to hand it to the autistic side of him, because a lot of things I've read on it is that, these kids are very intelligent. And he's a very intelligent kid, and he does great in school. School comes very easy to him, like math and spelling and stuff that I always hated. It comes very easy to him. And, and it's great. It's great. It's his social anxieties are what could potentially hold him back a little bit. But like I said, it's just the saying goes, no two autistic people are alike, and it's true. Although I haven't met too many other autistic kids, I have watched a lot of YouTube videos on autistic kids, and yeah, I mean, I can see my son in some of it, and I can't see him in other stuff. But it's just, oh man, I mean, raising a kid in general could be stressful, but I wouldn't trade it in for the world. I wouldn't trade him in for the world. I wouldn't honestly trade him in for the world. Any problems he has, I love him, and love, unconditional love that a parent has for their child. I don't want to change that. I don't. I just want him to be happy, and I want him to find what he's passionate about in life. And he's passionate about a lot of things, and some of the things he's passionate about, I feel like he can do it. He can really do it. And that's kind of the reason why I want to start doing a podcast. Even if this never takes off, even if I only get 20, 30 people to watch my videos, I don't care. I'm not doing this for I'm not doing it for fame. I'm not doing it for anything else. I can't talk sometimes. I get a little shy and my tongue gets tied. But I'm not doing it for popularity. I'm doing it simply to show that, one, that I'm capable of anything. And if I can do something, my son can do it, because he's so much more smarter than I ever was. But yeah, so I will be making some parenting videos. I will be trying to get my son to do part of this, to come in and do some stuff. I think you guys will get a kick out of him. He's a character. He really is. But yeah, like I said, I don't have all the answers, and I've never been the perfect parent, and I'm not here to judge people or tell people, well, this is how you're supposed to raise your kids, because I believe you can raise your kids the most perfect way you think possible, and they can still come out like crap. They can still come out being murderers or something bad, and you could have done everything right, or you could have done everything wrong. And you hear the success stories of some kids, growing up now, and they're successful people because of their rough upbringing. So I don't have the answers on how to raise your kid correctly. I just can only go into what I've been through as a parent and the things I've done, the mistakes I've done. So hopefully it can help other people. If you have an autistic child, maybe you can learn something from me. If you don't have an autistic child and you're just curious of what other parents say, like I said, I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm not here to say that there's one way to raise a kid. I think the most important thing is love. And there's something about love, showing love to your child. I mean, my son's 11. He's turning 11, and I still hug him and kiss him and tell him I love him. I want him to know what the word love means. And without getting too deep, as society, we have lost that meaning. I believe too many people say that word and not nearly enough mean that word. And it can be a romantic love. It can be, like I said, a family love. It can be friendship love. Love is the most important thing in life. And if you don't have that, if you have never felt that, it's sad. And I want my son to know what love is, and I want him to see that I love him and that his mother loves him. And I believe he does, and I want him to understand that the world isn't always easy. It's not always going to be like this for him, where, he has everything set up for him. Life is going to get hard as he gets older. And I want him to have that drive and that determination to be able to look the world in the face and just be like, I'm ready, and that's something I felt like I didn't have and when I became an adult. I had my son when I was 21, and barely become an adult. I mean, barely. I don't know. I feel like you're not an adult until you're at least 25, and sometimes then I don't even know anymore. But yeah, so I want to equip him as much as I can with the knowledge of what this world's going to hold for him, and through everything in life, he's one day he's going to have to face it alone. I'm not immortal. His mom isn't immortal. We're going to be gone one day, and it is our responsibility right now as parents to raise him and equip him to be able to face this world alone, like we all do, like I do now. We all have to face this world alone one day, and it can be the most loneliest feeling in the world, and it is sometimes, knowing that you are alone in this world. It doesn't matter if you're married or in a relationship. It doesn't matter. You're still facing the world alone. And, it's just something that you had to be mentally prepared for. And it's something that I felt like with my teenage years, a lot of things happen, and maybe one day I'll go into that. I felt like I wasn't prepared for that. And definitely school doesn't prepare you for that. School basically just does the bare minimum and then sets you out in the world and expects you to succeed, which isn't right. Our school systems here are not good. They're just not. But like I said, I'm not going to get into that. That's not what this is about. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking about my son a lot more, just because I want to make a podcast where I talk about what I know, and I think, and to make myself comfortable and to get more into the routine of this and to be able to talk more, and I hope be entertaining at least a little bit. Yeah, so I want to be able to do this better and to improve myself. And I think the best way to improve my podcast is actually speaking about something I know about, and it's my son. And so yeah, I'll be talking about him a lot more. And if anyone out there has any questions at all, feel free to comment below or write me. I like I said, I don't have all the answers to everything. All I know is that I've been a father to an autistic son for the past 11 years. And, I can share my experiences with everybody. And if I can help one person, even if they don't have an autistic kid, just have a perfectly fine kid. They're all fine. But, just if I can help anybody, it'd be worth it. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I will be making more on this topic and going a little bit more detail on some of the struggles, there's some struggles. Like I said, that I don't mean to make it sound like there's a lot of struggles with an autistic kid. In my situation, there really isn't. There's the good times certainly outweigh the bad times with him. And even if they didn't, I would still be here proud of my son, because I am so proud of that kid. And but yeah, so like I said, you guys have any questions at all about parenting, or maybe just life in general, doesn't matter, I want to be here. So just let me know. Like I said, you can comment below, and just ask, and I'll answer you as truthfully as I can. And I promise not to pass judgment on anybody, just like I would hope people don't pass judgment on me as I make more videos, because like I said, not a perfect person. I made my mistakes, and I'm going to be totally honest with people, because I'm not here to make myself look like I'm something I'm not. But yeah, so just If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'm just starting this, so eventually my lighting and everything else is going to get a lot better. I just felt tonight was I knew what I wanted to talk about, so I just wanted to be like, I'm going to make a video and talk. So yeah, I hope you guys have a terrific night. I hope you guys had a tremendous Mother's Day, and get some sleep, get ready for Monday, get ready for work, hopefully for most of you guys. And yeah, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos. And you have been listening to the Silent Chaos podcast, and I am your host, Mr. Adam Infanta. You guys have a terrific night. Peace.